Hello, my beautiful boyfriends and girlfriends. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. Today, I actually want to record a video, and it's weird because I just randomly woke up and I decided, you know what? I want to record a video. That never happens. But today, we're going to be going over Mashle because I just finished season 1 and I feel like talking about it. But real quick, at the time that I'm recording this, we are sitting at a smooth 5.5K, with my last video sitting at a calm like 65K views. Thank you everybody for the support, and just because I feel like it, y'all get 2 kisses today. Mwah. Alright everybody, quick rundown. For this show, magic is seen as a gift from the gods, and there are some people who don't get that gift. And people that don't get that gift are always seen as less than human. We all know how this type of anime go. Seen it way too much. Main character doesn't have some type of ability or magic or quirk and they just end up being super overpowered. You know, it's really interesting how they can make characters overpowered without abilities, yet they just can't give Subaru, I don't know, some type of Super Saiyan mode or something. I don't know, but they need to give this nigga something. He's been through too much. You sorry as hell though, boy. Now, Mash lives in the woods with his adoptive dad because they literally have to stay away from cities. And the reason being that if someone finds out Mash has no magic, he's gonna be executed. Now, there was a very simple fix to this problem. Magic school entrance exams. The classic of fantasy animes. Now, I've seen this over and over and over again in animes. Main character goes to some magic entrance exam. Nobody expect him to do shit, but when he go there, he end up turning up and impressing everybody. I done seen it a million times. But this time, our main character got to deal with some super hating ass nigga. That was just hating for no reason. Dude saw Mash in the crowd and he just decided, you know what? I'm gonna make sure this nigga fail. And mind you, this man is a whole teacher, bro. Hating on a random student he's never seen before. But regardless, let's just move on to the test. For the first test, they have to use magic to stop all the letters perfectly in place. Now, since Mash can't use magic, what do you reckon he'll do? Mash just quite literally tells all the letters to stop moving, and they just do it because why? I'll never know that answer. This is how majority of the exams go. Mash just somehow manages to finesse his way through all the tests. Now, where I call bullshit is where this man was just casually running on water. Now, I'm not saying this is like actual physics, but like according to the Flash show, he was running 600 miles per hour when he did it. So I'm not saying nothing, but I'ma also say this nigga was running 600 miles per hour. Since Mash made it through all the tests, the teacher is still seeing him and he still thinks that's bullshit. So he makes up this elaborate ass maze and he throws in this spy in the maze to make sure Mash doesn't get out in time. Now, it seems like Mash won't make it out on time and the teacher is just ecstatic about this. Look at this big ass smile on his face. That's when all of a sudden everyone just starts looking at the maze because it sounds like it's bombs going off in that bitch. So it turns out Mash just seemingly punched his way through the maze. But if you think he just punched his way through the walls, you would be very, very, very wrong. Now, instead of brute forcing his way through the maze like a normal person with super strength, by like, you know, punching, he does the most show-off bullshit by walking straight through the maze. Like this nigga didn't punch nothing, he just puffed up his chest like Mr. Fantastic and just walked through the maze. Now, since Mash technically did cheat, the teacher also cheated at the same time. So when the teacher tried to expel Mash from the exam, the Grand Master pulls up and basically bails Mash out. Since Mash is now enrolled in magic school, he kinda has to fake his ass off to make sure he doesn't get caught for not having magic. But the problem is that, you know, he's in magic school, they're gonna be practicing magic majority of the time. So on the first day, they're learning how to fly brooms and Mash is just minding his business when all of a sudden this random ass hating ass nigga pull up. Now this dude just challenges Mash to a race for no reason and he gets his shit blown out. Pause. Now that dude was just some random goon for the actual bully of this episode. But I think I should mention that we have a brand new character, our boy Finn. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. Finn literally does nothing the entire first season. I'm on like the 4th episode of the 2nd season. He hasn't done anything yet. So from where I'm standing right now, Finn does fuck nothing. But regardless, these dudes are like low-key bullying Mash. They aren't like downright beating this nigga's ass, but they're just like destroying his shit, which is a form of bullying. I just smacked my mic. Now it turns out that they themselves weren't destroying Mash's stuff, it was actually Finn because they were forcing him to destroy the stuff, which is worse than them destroying the shit themselves. Now one day Finn tells them that he isn't gonna keep messing with Mash because it's obviously wrong. Since they decided to beat the brakes off of Mash's homeboy, he got something special planned for them. Mash doesn't even say anything, he just walks up to the ringleader, grabs him by the hair and throws his face into the concrete as hard as he can. And honestly, I'm surprised this nigga's not dead. We've seen Mash do some crazy outlandish shit with his strength, and he's just committing attempted murder. Yo, like the floor is completely destroyed, bro. And then to make matters worse, the vice principal walks up to Mash and then he tells him that him and Finn are definitely going to be expelled. So you know what Mash does? Instead of trying to explain himself? Well, actually, I guess he tried to explain himself, but that nigga wasn't listening. But anyways, while dude is just talking and talking, Mash just proceeds to flying knee this nigga right in the nose. He will never smell a thing again. And then he proceeds to try and bury this man alive.
Is this nigga serious?
And once again, the headmaster bails him out. Like, I'm genuinely convinced that Mash could walk down the street and punch a pregnant lady in the mouth and the headmaster would still bail him out somehow, some way. So one day during class, Mash and his friends are just talking amongst themselves, minding their business and just chilling. And then that's when all of a sudden this dude named Lance Crown shows up and he tells Mash, yo, come to the woods, me and you are about to box for your coins. When Mash says, I don't want to do that, he decides to kidnap all his friends, so Mash literally has to come to the woods. Now I'm gonna keep it 100, I don't feel like explaining the whole coin situation. If you want to figure it out, just go and watch the show. Now when Mash goes to the woods, you may or may not have noticed, but Lance has 2 lines on his face. I'm sure you have guessed this by now, but the more lines you have on your face, the stronger you are. Most people have 1 line, only a select few people have 2 lines, and there's like maybe 10 people that have 3 lines. But anyways, Lance has gravity magic and everybody knows that niggas with gravity abilities are the worst people to go against. But y'all know Mash will whatever, he ain't never gonna dodge no ones. So the start of this fight was mainly just Lance trying to convince Mash to give up his coins without much of a fight. And you know, whenever you're stuck under a gravity spell, you can't really do much. But Mash reaches into the ground, rips up a root that messes up Lance's spell. So now he has a couple seconds to get into the groove, and that's all he needs. So peep game. Lance tries to use another gravity spell, but he just walks right through that and throws a nasty right cross. I don't know how Lance dodged that. And now we gotta go over this nigga's backstory. So Lance and his little sister were very close, and then all of a sudden she just randomly got this really rare disease that was slowly draining her magic and taking her mark away. And y'all know how it go. No magic, execution. So apparently the doctor said that she had 5 years left and the parents were already accepting that their daughter's just gonna get executed. Like, excuse me? Imagine being in this situation. Imagine having a life-threatening disease or whatever, and your parents are just watching you slowly die for years. And mind you, Lance's family are nobles. They have the resources to get some type of doctor or get some type of treatment, but they just didn't do it. So then Lance runs away from home. I'm not sure what he did for the next couple of years, but now he's at the magic school. I was hoping I was gonna get to see more of this fight, but Mash uses Talk No Jutsu and now he got a brand new homeboy. And now we get to meet another homeboy whose name is Dot. Now, if you couldn't tell by his red hair and his expressive personality, this guy is a fire user, obviously. Now for this class assignment, they have to go throughout the woods and kill scorpions to get coins. Once again, I'm not going to get into the coins, but they're important. And now Mash got another hater that just ran up on him for no reason. Mind you, Mash was just minding his business. Niggas will literally see you frolicking around, having the time of your life, and they'll just start cackling because they know they ready to fuck up your mood. Then this dude just decides to gut check Mash for no reason with that fat ass pillar. Lance literally had to hold Mash back because he was ready to kill that nigga. Now Mash was supposed to stay with Lance, but he ended up zoning out and getting lost, and he somehow ended up being with Dot. While they were talking, they ended up hearing this girl scream because her and this dude were arguing. So you know what Dot does? He just completely blows this random man to smithereens. Imagine you get in an argument with your girlfriend and y'all are arguing over the dumbest, most unimportant shit ever. And then all of a sudden, some random dude just comes out of nowhere and then blows you up. Like literally, you don't know this nigga, she don't know this nigga, this random dude just comes out of nowhere and blows you up. And then old boy from earlier pull up and Dot was actually wanting to fight this nigga. He was ready to scrap with him. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck. Dot was completely outclassed in this fight. So somehow, some way, they have to exchange hits and Dot has to take 20 hits from old dude. And after the first like 5 hits, that nigga's damn near dead already. So Dot continues to take his hits. And mind you, Dot is doing all of this just to protect the girl. And surprise, surprise, old girl done set this nigga up. This is why I be telling y'all, man, you can't be trusting these bitches out here. Now, since Dot just got played like a flute, Mash decides that it's time for him to step in. Now, they make the same deal. If Mash can take 10 of dude's hits, dude is gonna have to take 10 of Mash's. So Mash takes the first hit all the way through the 10th hit, and he's just eating these bitches. Nigga didn't even blink. And now it's time for old boy to take his licks. Boom! First punch right to the nose. That nigga gonna be smelling colors. That boy not done though. He got 9 more hits. Second hit, crazy gut check. Got that nigga back doing backflips. He just ruptured a lung or 2. That's a lot of blood just for it to be nothing.
Oh, that's just the beginning. There's more. Oh, I hope so. In fact, I think I'll have to use 30% of them.
But whole time, Mash was on some disrespectful shit. This dude proceeded to walk to a tree in the most nonchalant and calm way. He sat down and he said, "You got 8 more to go. Let me keep it 100. This will be the day that y'all saw me be bitch. This is the day I would turn around and run away so fast. There would just be an after image of me just standing there." Now, since old girl is obviously in the wrong here because she played Dot, she's the entire reason this happened. And she not ready to take responsibility. So you know what she do? That's when she start with all these bullshit fake tears, you know? But unfortunately for her, that don't work. And then that's when Mash is being all sweet and gentle, over here hugging her from behind, making sure she all okay. That's when he interlocks his fingers and then hits her with the craziest body slam I've ever seen in an anime. Mash just doesn't care if you're a woman, child, baby, man, he's gonna beat your ass regardless. Now I kinda forgot the reason, but Mash got punished and he has to clean out the owl hut alone. But since Lance is a W mans, he comes to help him out. Mash and Lance are obviously about to get pulled up on, and they do get pulled up on by 2 dudes a part of this group that are supposed to be collecting coins, usually by force. Now one dude uses his magic to bring Mash into a domain that's strictly water. Lance's dude was straight garbage, so he beat him with little to no effort. Now like I just mentioned, Mash is in this dude's domain and this dude is just a big ass shark, so now he can just swim around and easily kill Mash, right? Y'all already know the answer. This dude pops his ult to try and get Mash up out of there, but y'all already know niggas is just trash. So Mash gets old boy up out of there. Now, while Lance and Mash are regrouping, it doesn't take more than 3 minutes for somebody else to pull up. And it's this dude wearing a mask that has some type of speed ability. And this dude says he doesn't want to fight, but Mash is like, "Nah nigga, you dangerous, you gotta go." And Mash throws a hit, but dude is clearly too fast. Then dude just gets his homeboys and he just shake. So one night, Mash, Finn, Dot, and Lance are all out of their dorms at night looking for Lemon because she just got kidnapped. Actually, it's more Mash, Dot, and Lance. Because we all know Finn not gonna do shit but cry anyway, so it don't really matter. Now they end up finding this secret stairway going up under the school, and under the school they find a big ass fighting arena, and y'all know what that means. The best arc of every single anime is about to occur. Our first opponent is this pretty boy whose name I forgot, and obviously Dot wanna handle that because Dot has an immense hatred for niggas that be getting bitches. You a hating ass nigga, but I respect it. He's consistent with it, I'll give him that. But I'll be damned if I get my ass beat for looking too good. Now a little bit into the fight, Dot sets up a bunch of bombs around old dude and he's just basically waiting for them to go off since they're time bombs, but old boy thinks they're motion activated. So when the first one goes off, that means it's time for the rest of them to go off. So Dot wins the battle pretty easily. It wasn't too difficult, but obviously they not finna let everybody stay together, so everyone gets separated. Lance fights this one dude and it's actually a pretty good fight, except he used talk no jutsu in the end, so I'm not even gonna show it. This is why y'all will never see me go over the power of the friendship show. So now Mash is fighting Razor, and in my opinion, this is the best fight in season 1. This is better than the actual boss fight. Now since Razor has acceleration magic, he's probably gonna be the most difficult person that Mash has fought this entire season. Wasn't nobody putting paws on Mash like Razor was. This is like going up against Prime Kyrie. What can you possibly do in this situation? Mash is getting sauced so bad to the point where he just deadass gets stabbed in his abdomen. But don't let this shit fool you. Mash was perfectly fine after this. Then Mash grabbed this nigga by his scruff like he a little dog. Then he headbutts the shit out of him. That's a mild concussion right there. But Razor not about to take that disrespect and he pop his ult, which is actually very, very overpowered. So basically this domain takes an arrow and puts it on the opponent, transferring their speed to Razor, which also makes them very slow in the process. And it's basically free eats for Razor. Now this is a very bad position to be in, but there are a few things that you can do to get out of this situation, and none of which that I was thinking consisted of ground pounding the floor to make a single hallway that he can only come at you one way. Now since this caught him off guard, it is the perfect opportunity to hit that nigga with a crazy gut check, rearrange every single organ in his body. Punch to the stomach was so mean and got this nigga flying to the roof. And now, y'all know what time it is. Mash grabs him out of the air, interlocks his fingers, and now it's time to go night-night. Now since Razor got smoked out, let's go check on our favorite hothead. This little girl right here pulls up and she's not to be trifled with at all. She's even worse than the other nigga. And this little girl is so aggravating that she gave Dot a crazy power boost. Now this is due to a birthmark on Dot's head that's actually very, very rare, and it only activates when your emotions get out of control or something, you know, classic anime shit. You know, it actually reminds me of Sasuke's curse mark, except for the fact that it doesn't let some nasty ass snake nigga take control of your body. Now Dot tells old girl to fuck off because he doesn't really want to hurt a little girl, and honestly, nigga like me would have hit her ass with something nice. And now it's time for the final boss. The big bad boss is this dude named Abel, and like I said earlier, I still feel like the fight with Razor was actually actually much more difficult than the fight with Abel. And why do I think that? I don't know. I think I'm just biased because I like Razor more. But anyways, Mash made quick work of them puppets. And then that's when he brings out Finn as a puppet to fight Mash. Because obviously he knows Mash not about to slime out his favorite homeboy. So Mash takes a gold coin and uses it to cut the strings off of Finn. Then he bum rushes Abel and then knees the shit out of him right in the nose. Now that I think about it, Mash really got like 2 moves. Mash will either body slam you or he'll knee you in the face. Nigga, Mash don't got no type of bag. That's when Abel pops his ult and it's this really ugly puppet thing, bro. And it really reminds me of Music Man from Five Nights at Freddy's. But regardless, Mash makes quick work of that too. And now, y'all know what time it is. Mash teleports behind him, grabs hold of him and jumps up. Ooh, I've been waiting for this the whole season.
There's no way out of this one. You're done.
Mash obviously hits him with the signature move, the ground pound right onto your neck. Ground pound was so vicious he got him seeing flashbacks. Hello everybody, welcome to the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy. I'm gonna assume you did since you're here with me right now. Now, a couple of hours ago, I said I felt like recording today. I take that back. This was the most exhausting recording session I've probably ever had. But I'm done now, so I can't really complain. Also, I would just like to thank everyone because at the time that I'm recording this, we're at 5K. So, you know, I'm like actually very excited for that because just last month we hit 4K. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. Thank you guys for the support. I told y'all was getting 2. I love y'all. Mwah.